Hey guys, you're watching the Shift Training channel.
where we talk about personal growth, we talk about physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual health, and just overall well-being.
And today we're going to talk about how to get good at anything. So we'll start with the core principle of that, and that is humans are adaptation machines.
Ooh.
Yeah, so Tom Billy talks about this all the time. We're just going to have a little chat today, guys. Tom Billy talks about this all the time. A lot of great, successful people who are pushing their limits, high performers, if you will, understand this principle of not only having a growth mindset, but living in that fashion. So for example, understanding that human beings are biologically wired. Your physical form is wired to adapt.
Yeah. So the first time I heard this is like you mentioned, it's from Tom Bilyeu, and it's from the book Growth Mindset as well. So this reminds me of the quote from Charles Darwin, where he mentioned it's not the species who survive. It's not the species who's the smartest or the strongest that survives. It's actually the species that are most adaptable to change.
Ah, that's right. Adaptation, courtesy of change. And think about it like that. We already know what happens if you can't get with changes. That's when you start going down the path of decay. And we know where decay goes, straight to the ground.
Right.
So we are human adaptation machines, literally. Something can happen to us in our youth. We now develop in a way that caters to that, or certain experiences. And at the same time, some people may think, oh, well, you're an adult and our brains don't change anymore. Not true anymore.
True. And you know what's interesting about that is, how Navy SEALs, they don't per se looking for the smartest or the strongest individuals. They're looking for those individuals who can adapt the fastest. So I think it's a good trait.
Yeah, absolutely. So we are literally built to adapt. So don't think that you can't. That's that fixed mindset. That's that limiting yourself, holding yourself back kind of deal. It's not per se true. I mean, maybe you can't make your molecules and atoms just like pull apart and come back together. That's a little extreme. But for the most part, think about when you get sick. If you get sick, then you get well. And usually, depending on what the sickness is, for example, if you have exposure to let's say the cold virus or whatever it is, your immune system gets stronger, your body adapts to it, so it's better able to deal with that threat. It learns. So think about it like this. Our bodies are capable of learning. Do you believe that you're capable of learning? If you believe you're capable of learning, then congratulations. Lock onto that. That's part of having a growth mindset. If you feel like you couldn't possibly learn anything on this planet ever, that's a fixed mindset. We don't approve. Yeah, we don't condone that. That's a no.
Yeah.
So neuroplasticity?
Yeah, so I think that's very similar to what we're talking about, how neuroplasticity, the first time I heard that is from the book Growth Mindset, and from Jim Quick. How they talk about. So the first time I heard it, I was like, "Whoa, everything is possible." Like your brain, as we talk about, you can adapt to improvement, and that gave me hope because I used to have this fixed mindset, about neuroplasticity, and it's all about training your brain. It is because it's atrophy. You haven't used it for a long time, and you have this limiting beliefs in you that you can't learn, that something is fixed when you were born. And also, the influence of your environment, whoever you are when you're growing up. So it could influence your mindset. That's why you never grow. And you always think that, oh, okay, I can't do that. I can't be this person of, a superstar or NBA or whatever it is that you want to achieve. But when I heard that neuroplasticity, I was like, oh, there's hope, there's hope.
Yeah. Neuroplasticity is, for those who don't know, it's basically brain science that says our brains are constantly changing and growing and replacing and repairing, and that's what's happening. So with neuroplasticity, basically it just says you can learn and you can continue to learn. And as you learn, your brain will change. And literally, as you learn, your brain physically, the physical form of your brain changes courtesy of the experiences in your life, the things that you learn, the things it needs to recall, etc. I think neuroplasticity is something I started paying attention to a long time ago in college, but Jim Quick, you talk about Jim Quick and Doc Amen. I love Doc Amen because he talks about brain health and really how well neuroplasticity and all that stuff works for you is relevant to your overall brain health. So your actual physical brain health, the thing in your skull, how healthy that is, plays a huge role on your neuroplasticity. And your neuroplasticity is how well you can learn and AKA adapt. So brain health is important if you want to be able to adapt. Brain health is important if you want to be able to positively navigate changes.
Yeah, and they're like muscle, we all need to train them. It's like if you don't train them, what happens to your muscles? Same thing with our brain. The more we train them through reading books, doing puzzles, anything that will stimulate your brain.
That's right, stimulate that growth.
Yeah. And I think another thing, if you want to enhance that neuroplasticity, you can eat foods that are, greens, fruits that will enhance your neuroplasticity. It gives you that betterment of your brain health.
Yeah. So the reason why we're talking about these things is how to get good at anything. That's our focus for today. So I'm gonna keep us on track. So how to get good at anything? Well, you got to understand that you're an adaptation machine. So first you need to know and believe that it's even possible for you to get good at anything. Then you need to understand the role of neuroplasticity. That's basically how you're gonna learn, how well you can learn. You need to know you can learn, and you need to know how to take care of your brain so that way you can maximize your learning. And then next, we're going to talk about the benefit of quality practice, not trash practice, not just, I'm showing up, I'm doing the reps. What's the quality of those reps?
I think that the benefits and the quality of those reps, it helps you retain the information that you have, and you become more confident as you keep practicing it. Sometimes if you don't train, then you don't have that quality, you don't have that belief that you can do it.
Yes, the proof is in the pudding, as they say. I also like this phrase, I'm not sure where I first heard it. I'm sure I've heard like Tim Grover and many other people say it. And I've probably had coaches growing up in sports tell me this, but practice how you want to perform. It's that simple. Practice how you want to perform, because your brain is not really going to know any different. It's going to log, or the neural pathway that's created is going to be exactly what you did. So whatever neural pathway has been carved the most is gonna basically be the most efficient for energy. And your brain is always looking like, hey, where can I conserve it? Save some energy. It's gonna pick the path that has the most reps on it. So if you have a path and it's slot-tastic, and that's got the most reps on it, you will probably default to that in performance mode. You will not all of a sudden be in a new neural pathway. Your neural pathway will not be any sharper. You will perform probably like slop. So you need to practice how you want to perform. High quality practice, high quality performance. That becomes the default.
Yeah, 100%. And the more you practice, the more quality that practice is, you become more in flow. You don't think about it during the game or the presentation that you're gonna perform.
Yeah, it just, it becomes natural, like walking. When you first learned walking, like when we all first started learning how to walk, we fell a ton. Now, hopefully today you're not falling as much as you did when you were a baby. I'm pretty sure most of us are not, because that's a lot of freaking falling. And if you are, I feel bad for your body. But for the most part, we have gotten better at it over time. And we don't even think about it. We really don't even think about it. I mean, maybe if we experience some pain, but for the most part, it is not an endeavor for us to walk anymore because we've practiced it so much. I want to use athletes as an example because that's an easy one to see, but I want to step outside of physicality for a minute. Any habit that you have, any behavior that you just do without thinking, you say, oh, that's just the way I am, it's been practiced. You've practiced it a lot. If you practice a different behavior, it would be something else. You've practiced that behavior or habit a lot. You do it by default without even thinking. It's the same with anything else you want to learn or get good at.
Yeah, this reminds me of the trait of being anxious. Usually it's not even a trait, it's a behavior that they adapted as they keep practicing that. That's the one you were saying.
Yeah, okay. So the last point we'll say before we talk about then you'll finally be good is actually showing up. There's one last step, and it's that you got to show up. So for example, you got to know you can adapt. I can learn, I can take on stuff. You got to know neuroplasticity plays a role. Like, okay, I need to optimize this brain so I can really soak it up. So I can really learn. I can really, carve that neural pathway, myelination going on, all that good stuff. Okay. And then you need to have quality practice. Got to practice how you want to perform. But there's one more step to getting good, and it's the actual performance part. You have to show up. When you're under pressure, when you're afraid, whatever it may be, you have to be courageous, and you have to basically step into that and practice or perform what you've been practicing. And think about it as just another opportunity to practice.
Yeah, that's the ultimate, we're seeking for the actual showing up. I think all of those things, that if we have it in our mind that we are adaptable and we're learning all these things, those knowledge that we have is just, for example, it's just like a passion that we have. The true fulfillment happens when you show up. You actually have done the job, like playing an actual game.
Right. And that boosts your confidence. That lets you see, oh, wait, the thing I've been working so hard for to be able to execute this, I did it. And then the more you do it, the more you start to really understand, I can definitely do it.
Right. Yes. It's theoretical and then application.
Right. And that's when it becomes part of your reality. At that point, then you could probably say, hey, I'm pretty good at this.
Confidence.
Yeah.
Belief. That's where you really believe in yourself.
Right. And so that's the process on how to get good at anything. You need to understand that you can learn and adapt. So you need to be open and ready to take on that kind of stuff, new information, whatever it may be. Neuroplasticity, know that your brain is capable of adapting. It can take on new stuff, learn new stuff, physically change. Your body will physically change, okay? And quality practice. So literally practice how you want to perform. It will show up. Like when it's time to show up, it'll show up that way. Maybe nervousness will knock you down a few notches, but as you practice more or perform more, then some of that will die down, or you'll learn how to adapt through the nervousness and then not disrupt your performance.
Yeah, that's true, because you're always going to feel that nervousness in you, but as you keep practicing, as you mentioned, you start to feel more excited with that nervousness as you keep practicing.
Exactly. So that's how you get good at anything. Is there anything else?
That's it.
Okay. So
our next episode is we're going to be talking about motivation and discipline.
My favorites. Where can the people find us? What do they need to do?
Please, you can find us at Shift Training, podcasts, social media, all the platform, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. We're all on the platforms, on social media.
All right, at Shift on Your Life, please like, subscribe, follow, rate, and review. That helps us grow a great deal. Also, guys, if you're not familiar with Shift Training, that's your first time checking us out, name of the business is Shift Training. We provide one-on-one training sessions with clients. We also do team trainings for companies and other organizations. And basically, our long-term goal is to positively impact the quality of human interaction. And the way that we believe that this is possible is for everyone to emotionally develop, being able to better connect with themselves. Therefore, they can better connect and understand others. So if that's something you support, please share this podcast with a friend. If you're interested in working with us, send us an email. It's in the description below. And other than that, I hope you have a fantastic